Portugal, a country with a diverse landscape, from lush green forests to golden sandy beaches, from rugged mountains to tranquil rivers. And the most important thing about Portugal, it's me, Rosa. Hi, I'm a Portuguese bicicleta, built to raise awareness about the need of a circular economy, about trash not being trash, about that trash should always have value. You know, single use is crap and kills the planet. Join the reuse revolution. But let's start from the beginning. This is the trash traveler, my daddy. Listen to him.
Is it possible to cycle around Portugal with this frame? Give trash value, give something old value again. We're gonna refurbish this wonderful frame, make a bike out of it, and let's see how far we can come. On my way with the bike to Ciclofficina Anjos. Let's start rebuilding this beauty. Let's see how that goes.
Together with Ciclofficina Anjos, very cool humans by the way, they tried to make the impossible possible. It hasn't been easy. After 2 days, the trash traveler even thought of giving up, as none of the bike parts wanted to fit together. He went home desperate, with the feeling of failure, losing even a tear. However, the next morning, he received a message from my other daddy, Rui.
Dearest Andreas, yesterday was a super full day for me and I was a bit tired during the session. I was very sad to hear you could quit building your bike. Me too. It's busy sometimes at Ciclofficina. In fact, we are always busy trying to help everybody. But it's very unfortunate you didn't progress as much as you wanted. After everyone went home yesterday, me and Fernando did a bit of a late night effort around your frame while talking about trashy and top bikes, lithium mining and whatever came to mind, while we set aside components that could fit in your bike. It's a kind of mechanic workshop therapy.
Yes, that's the goal of this project, to cycle 2,370 kilometers around the country to prove it is possible to give value to trash. We don't have to buy new. Obrigada, Rui, for believing in me and giving the trash traveler strength to continue raising awareness. Remember, dear audience, this planet can't be saved alone. If we come together and help each other, we are so much stronger.
Today is the first day. Are you happy?
Very happy. There is sun in the sky,
Yeah.
fruits to eat,
Mm.
organic trash.
Nice.
It's the only trash we can do.
Wow. This is the only trash we can do?
Yes.
Organic trash.
And off we go. We started our journey in Cascais. It was a wonderful, overwhelming start, with 27 cyclists joining the opening tour and the media going crazy.
Trash Traveler é um artista ambiental, está a percorrer o país numa bicicleta reciclada para sensibilizar as pessoas para a importância da reutilização, reciclagem e proteção do meio ambiente.
Getting ready. Let's pick up some plastic bottles. And while we're doing everything, you can just head over to the website
and signed a petition for a deposit system in Portugal. It's so easy to be an activist. All these bottles, these 3 bags. Wow, look at this. All comes from Lisbon.
Okay, we keep going. All the way south, crossing the nature reserve of Arrábida, saying hola to friends in Sesimbra. But to get away from there, it was tough. Crazy steep hills, and we got our first doubts if this project was a good idea and if we would even manage to accomplish the mission.
Sesimbra, Programa Atlantis. It's nice to be with you, but getting out of Sesimbra, it's a hell. Going up like that, my legs are dead.
The Trash Traveler planned long distances, without even taking mountains that slow us down immensely into consideration. We learned the hard way. I felt every single meter in my recycled parts, every day. But the view, the view was magnificent. A German baker stopped along the road to give us pretzels. Yes, how random but beautiful.
Getting better and better. I have Rosa under control.
We reached the westernmost point of Europe. Can you guess it? The beautiful cliffs of Sagres. Oh, that reminds me. Time for a beer. An ocean beer. And happy people.
Ooh. Day 6. Done. Yay. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's an ocean beer. 100% of the profits go into ocean conservation projects. Super nice. Bag is full for this little piece. So I'm not able to collect all bottles because it's not about cleaning, but I know exactly where the bottles accumulate, because when it goes down a little bit to the right or to the left of the street, then bottles accumulate, and that's what's happening here. Look at this bottle graveyard. Wow. That was a crazy day. 10. And it smells already good. What are we having here? Hola, Raquel.
Hello.
Yeah, you're smelling from far.
Yeah? Oh.
I made it. What are you doing?
Lots of vegetables and chickpeas and favas and rice.
Amazing.
Yes,
I'm happy to
simple
come
thing.
here. What are you hiding there in that?
Well,
Plate.
it's just rice from yesterday.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Along the Algarve region, reaching the border to Spain, a heat wave arrived, and we had to stop cycling at 10 in the morning as temperatures reached almost 40 degrees. It's time to say goodbye, ocean! And discover the interior landscape of Portugal. A Alentejo region with its rolling hills, vast fields of cork trees, historic whitewashed villages and peaceful countryside. The further north, the more trees arise and the greener it gets, and the more challenging it gets. Pushing a trash bike like me up the highest mountain of continental Portugal, it was tough. Serra da Estrela, 1,993 meters. This trash traveler is a little crazy, don't you agree? By the way, in the whole journey we cycled 26,990 meters uphill. That's 13 times Serra da Estrela, 3 times up Mount Everest. Can you imagine? Up to Serra da Estrela in 5 hours, down in 30 minutes. Is it worth it? Well, further north past Douro Valley, with super duper sore muscles, we needed motivation to cycle through the endlessly hilly countryside. 2 cyclists passed by and they wondered in Portuguese, "Look at this crazy guy, doesn't have a good bike, no proper equipment and is keeping up with us." They didn't know we understood Portuguese. Touché! That was the motivation I needed. You don't need to have the newest equipment. It's all in your mind. We ended up drinking port wine in the next village and became friends. It was magic in the north. We cycled on the moon. Oh, look at this. Actually, no water in Barragem Monte Alegre. Hello, climate change. We picked a cigarette butt where Portugal was born. Hello, Guimarães. And finally reached the border to Spain. And hello, ocean. We missed you. By the way, I won a football match against the mascot of FC Porto. Having that win in the pocket, it was clear we would make it until the end with huge confidence. Easy peasy lemon squeezy! Side note, the trash traveler had to fix 4 times my back tube, once the front tube, 1 tire exploded because of a sharp thing on a dirty road, 1 spine cracked, and I lost 1 pedal. That was on purpose, as they got replaced by 2 new second-hand shiny pedals, my new green dancing shoes. Apart from that, rolling smoothly. Do you believe me now that you don't need to buy new? I hope so. Join the reuse revolution. This is the end, and they lived happily ever.
Rosa, this is not the end. It wasn't just a bike tour with a second-hand built bike to show you the stunning landscapes of Portugal. This part was just for you to fall in love with nature. If we love something, we want to take care of it, right? On top of all the cycling, I collected single-use plastic bottles and cans along the roads. Side note, I didn't pick up glass bottles as they were too heavy to carry on Rosa, but they were there, believe me. 4,599 bottles and cans. Question to our dear audience, is that a lot? Well, yes, but it is only a small fraction of what I saw. I would have had to stop every few meters, and I would be still cycling if I would have stopped for every single bottle. Look at those following scenes. It explains a lot. You see, I could have never picked up all the bottles and cans. This bike tour was to show you what's hidden in plain sight out there. In nature, all those plastic bottles may break down over time to form microplastics. Microplastic. Do you know what's properly fantastic? It's the formation of microplastic. And those microplastics enter our ecosystems and potentially via the food chain right back on our plate. Yummy! But why do we find all those bottles and cans out there? Once emptied, these bottles don't have an economic value, and humans do not profit from properly discarding them. Either the love for nature and awareness motivates people to make the right choices, or they win something out of it. The first part was romantic, and the second applies to the whole population. Just imagine if empty bottles would have an added value of a few cents, euro cents. When bringing it back to the store, you receive money for it. Wow, how amazing. For bottles and cans provides an incentive for individuals to return their used bottles for recycling and for actually properly disposal, as well as refill. That's an important part, rather than littering or improperly disposing of them. As you can see here in Matosinhos, where bottles ended up in the general waste bin rather than in a recycling bin. With a deposit return scheme, people get subconsciously be motivated to separate recycling and be good, responsible citizens. We went all around Portugal, we too, yes, to show this problem and most importantly to support Portuguese NGOs in the work for the implementation of a deposit return scheme in Portugal. Signatures for a petition were raised in every corner of the country. Fingers crossed. Please, if you see NGOs asking for signatures for petitions, take a second and help them. Couch potatoes, like you and me sometimes, can also help making this world better by supporting those on the field. Please consider that and keep that in mind. Portugal is just an example. Deposit return schemes should exist everywhere around the world. Ideally, not only for bottles and cans, but for every packaging and every product that is produced. This is water from Malaysia. Yummy! Let's get a deposit system for the entire world. That would be something. So we have a priority scale that I would suggest first, reduce. Ask yourself, do I really need to buy this? This question may well be no. Second, reuse everything you own. I went around Portugal with just one refillable water bottle. This is it. I didn't buy any single use. Third, return. Only if it is not possible to refill or reuse products, then we need to go for deposit return schemes, deposit systems and circular projects to implement circular systems that work in favor of the planet. As you may have recognized, I wasn't alone on this journey. It was Rosa and there was someone else. I was followed by the one and only Raquel Fortuna Lima. Okay. She was driving the van, helping with the logistics about the bottles, but most importantly, she was proving another point. It's all about reusing and reducing trash.
but not only about old bike parts, bottles or cans. It applies to our whole life and even to the whole economy. To not produce waste. So, Raquel proved it is possible to produce almost any trash while cooking healthy along the entire 55-day journey. The only few waste items, like cheese labels for example, could fit in a 500 milliliter old yogurt cup. The organic waste was led to farms for composting, and the only thing we needed to recycle were some glass bottles from our celebration days along the journey. Raquel searched for local biological projects and farms to buy veggies and fruits. She checked for bulk stores to get all the cereals, beans, snacks. She managed to cook every meal without packaging. By the way, the entire trip has been based on a vegetarian diet. Only animal products were 4 local cheeses and a few locally bought eggs. To be able to cycle 2,370 kilometers in 55 days without a break and collect 4,599 bottles and cans? No, we don't necessarily need meat and fish. Energy lies in plants, and it's so tasty if you ask Raquel. So, did you get hungry? Film is almost over. Hope you got inspired to reuse, to reduce, to rethink, to be creative, to not buy new, to refuse packaging and find alternatives. Refill your bottle.
Bom dia.
That's amazing day to start. Local, packet-free granule and with a wooden bowl.
Boom.
Go second hand. Ask your friends if they may borrow you the product you intend to buy. Share and celebrate. And it's only possible if we come together. Celebrate a circular economy. Celebrate a community that acts together. This bike tour ended up with more than 800 people joining around the country, raising awareness. Plenty NGOs, municipalities, schools, projects came together. Fun awareness actions, caring for the ocean, should be joyful and contagious. Are you joining? Are you joining the journey for more awareness and for a better planet? Not only for trash or plastics. This world, especially our most important ecosystem, our base to live, the ocean, needs us to join forces and act together. Rosa?
Join the reuse revolution.
Thank you, Rosa. Together we can make it. Un grande abraço. Obrigado.
Tons of plastic entered the ocean each year. The little baby whale cries a tear. Only 14% of plastic gets recycled worldwide. We gotta give trash value and stand up for oceans right. Let's stand up, let's stand up. For oceans right. Let's stand up, let's stand up. beautiful oceans right. How do we do that? Let's trash cycle, let's trash cycle. Think in a circular economy. Let's trash cycle, let's trash cycle. Refuse single use for the whale to be happy. Let's trash cycle, let's trash cycle. Think in a circular economy.
Wir sehen Verschmutzung. Wir sehen hier viel Plastik. Was ist da?
Ja, wir haben Plastik. Wir haben auf jeden Fall auch sehr, sehr viele Plastikflaschen, die wir überall sehen. Ja, überall.